Oh yes, 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 yes. The big guy is back. Um, I know some of you guys who have subscribed to me are probably wondering, where the hell is Big Kev been? Well, let's just say that a couple weeks ago, after all these years, after all these last couple years, I did contract the virus known as COVID. Um, so that set me back for about a week or two. Um, I've been working a lot of hours have been popping up. I feel like a man with his head cut off walking around. But fear not, I'm back, good as new. I got a new outlook on stuff. I got a new outlook on life. Um, and it's been great. It's been wonderful. It's been probably one of the best things that I've dealt with personally in a long time. And I just want to thank everybody for being patient. If you like this video, like, share, and sub. Click that little bell, the notification bell, to get all your daily needs. Because I do a lot of stuff on here. We're going to start doing some gaming stuff on here. I know I have like 2 or 3 gaming stuff, but we're going to start doing that. I've been working on getting my Inside the Square Circle interviews going a little more. And we're going to start talking about more personal stuff. And my heart does go out to the victims and their families of that Covenant Nashville shooting that some of you guys heard about last week. I did a video on that, but it's on my Facebook. I'm thinking about bringing it on here, but I haven't decided yet. But without further ado, you guys are here for the WrestleMania Goes to Hollywood WrestleMania 39 review from night 1 and night 2. Sorry I didn't get a chance to do it yesterday. I had a lot of stuff going on, so I couldn't get it in yesterday. But hey, today is as good as number, because now WWE has Vince McMahon has sold the company to Endeavor, which also is in charge of UFC. So now UFC and WWE are actually brothers, so to speak. I think this is a good thing for WWE because at least they didn't sell it to the Saudis, and you know how some of the wrestlers would have felt about that. Most of them probably would have quit, and rightfully so. But is it just me, or is it weird seeing Vince McMahon with a fucking porn stash? I don't know if most of y'all saw a picture of him recently, but let me see if I can get one up here. Let me find one of Vince here. It's a real like. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Where am I at? There you go, right here. Look at that. That's what Vince McMahon looks like now. Creepy as fuck. But WWE sold $9.3 billion to Endeavor. The word on the street is Triple H is still in charge of creative. They're still going to put him in charge of creative, which is the smartest business, probably the smartest decision you could do. But Let's talk about WrestleMania. So WrestleMania kicks off in Hollywood. This is the not many people know this, but this is the third time they've been in Los Angeles. They were in Los Angeles for WrestleMania 2, along with Chicago and New York, in three different locations. But in WrestleMania 21, they went to Hollywood, and then WrestleMania 39, they went to Hollywood. They were supposed to already been in Los Angeles, but the coronavirus kind of changed all that, and so here we are. And first match of the night is Austin Theory defending the United States Championship against You Can't See Me, John Cena, the balding John Cena. And so I'm going to tell you this much about this match. Austin Theory, I know, was a big fan. He grew up being a fan of John Cena. But the thing about Austin Theory is he has that punchable face. And it's not one of those like when you hear him get booed, it's not like the cheap heel boos that you hear. I genuinely believe that people don't like him. This whole thing was Cena came out looking like Casper the Friendly Ghost. Looked like he did not tan at all. He looked like a platypus in the ring. You could definitely tell that Cena's Hollywood schedule really kind of came into play here, because I feel like Cena didn't have any time really to prepare. And he looked very flat in the ring. The match looked flat to me. But it did what it was supposed to do, and that was to put over Austin Theory, to make that United States Championship even mean something more. And that's the one thing that Triple H has done here recently, is he's made the U.S. title and the Intercontinental title matter now, because we all know the Intercontinental title was the working man's championship back then. And in night two, when I get to that Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus match, you'll see why I'm saying that. But there was some good tactics, some good heel tactics by Theory, biting Cena's hand when he was doing the STFU. You saw Austin Theory doing his inner Mike Tyson, biting Cena's ear. And Cena had him tapping. Referee was down. Cena went to get up and try to help the referee. Boom. Nut shot. Austin Theory hits his finisher. 1, 2, 3. John Cena down. Now, could they pull this as an angle to where this could be John Cena saying he's retiring? Maybe. I've heard the rumblings that it might be him and Logan Paul at SummerSlam. I don't know. You know how rumors are. Rumors are to be determined, honestly. This match, I'll give it like a 5.5 out of 10. Because it did do what it was supposed to do, and that was to put Theory over, make him more credible, make the championship, United States Championship, more credible. And, we always used to give Cena a lot of shit back then about not putting people over. Well, his last couple of times being on pay-per-view, he has put people over, so I can't fault the guy for that. But someone needs to get him a case of Rogaine. I'll say that much. So up next, we had the 4-way tag with the Alpha Academy, Street Profits, the Viking Raiders, and Ricochet and Braun Strowman. Now, the Viking Raiders, I love their get up. I love the fact that their wife, one of their wives, is with them as a manager. I love the Viking Raiders get up. Very cool. I actually think Chad Gable's entertaining. Not many people do, but I think Chad Gable is actually a good talent. And I wish he would have a singles run that was good for him, because he's a former Olympic wrestler. He's got the tools and the talent to probably be in the mid card for the U.S. title or Intercontinental title, but they put him with Otis, and now Otis is going back to the whole style he had when he was going after Mandy Rose, because now he's over there doing some, I don't know, but this match had the crowd's attention. Some of the stuff that they did was really death defying. There was one point in the match where they were all over there on the turnbuckle, and they had you know, they had Montez Ford up, but in a standing suplex, but they had him hold. And all of a sudden, Ricochet came out of nowhere and did a crossbody. And this match was pretty much a filler. It was fun. The crowd was into it. And the winner of that match gets a future WWE Tag Team Championship title shot. And the Street Profits won. This match was pretty entertaining. I give it like 7 out of 10. It did what it was supposed to do. So I kind of wish the Viking Raiders would have won it, but the Street Profits, give it up to them. And the next one was Logan Paul versus Seth freaking Rollins. Now, I am not a big Logan Paul fan. I've seen his podcast. I think he's a piece of shit in it for himself, but the man knows how to market himself, and he's an entertainer. And I give him credit for getting into that boxing ring and going toe to toe with Floyd Mayweather. Not many people can do that, so I have to give him credit where credit's due. Logan Paul haven't had many matches at WWE, but he went toe to toe with Roman Reigns. He wrestled The Miz at SummerSlam, and he had that tag match at WrestleMania last year. His little death-defying move that him and Ricochet did at the Royal Rumble still gets talked about. This one was actually one of my favorite ones. Wasn't the favorite match I had at WrestleMania 39, but it was one of my favorites. They told a story, and that's the one thing about Triple H's WWE compared to when Vince was in charge of creative, is that Triple H likes to tell long-term stories. He likes to have these planned out in advance, and I have to give him credit for that, because that is something that AEW wrestling don't do. And I hate to break it to you, some of you AEW fans, but that's a fact, Jack. Tony Khan don't know how to book. There, I said it. Come at me with pitchforks. I don't give a fuck. But anyhow, this match was good. I didn't know the story about Logan Paul's hand having a steel plate in there. I don't know if that was a story or if that's true. But in the end, Seth freaking Rollins won the match. It was a hard fought win. I'm going to give this like a 8 out of 10. Very entertaining, very high energetic match between them both. WWE does need to re-sign Logan Paul. See, I'm not one of those people that likes to have celebrities in the wrestling world, but Logan Paul has earned his stripes. The dude is... Now, he was also learning in the ring when he faced Roman Reigns. He was also being taught by Shawn Michaels. So, if you're going to be taught by anybody in this wrestling business, Shawn Michaels is a good way to start. So, usually I'm one of those people that I don't like celebrities getting in the ring and fighting and doing all that stuff. I'm one of those people. But Logan Paul has proved me wrong. So, I have to give the guy credit. He may be a cocky son of a bitch, and he may be like a piece of shit, but the dude has backed it up in the ring. So I have to give him credit where credit's due. So up next, you have Damage Control in a 6-woman tag versus Becky Lynch, Lita, the new women's tag team champions, and Trish Stratus. Now, I'm not one to point this out, but my wife did. Mel pointed this out. When Trish Stratus came out, her shirt was very much hugging those boobies. And you can see a lot of cleavage from Trish. And Trish and Lita still look absolutely amazing. After all these years, they both still look amazing. This one did what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to end the Lita. It was supposed to end the Becky Lynch feud with Damage Control, and I felt like that's what this was. That's what it did. There was a couple of high spots. The match was kind of slow and stuff at first, but there was a couple of high spots at the end, toward the middle and the end. It was cool to see Lita do her moonsault that she's been notorious for. Both women can still go, and that's pretty much evident right now. And so where does this go from here? There's a rumor that Trish is supposed to turn heel. She didn't turn heel at WrestleMania, so I don't know. Possibly there's a rumor that Trish and Becky are supposed to face each other at SummerSlam. I mean, again, rumors are just that, rumors. So unless it's actually happening, we all don't know. But, Becky got the win for her team when she did the manhandle slam, the variation of the rock bottom off the second rope. Hits Bayley with it. 1, 2, 3. This match gets like a 6.5 out of 10. It was fun to watch, but it was, like I said, the slow start at first was it didn't seem like the crowd was into it as much because I think they were all at that point. I thought they were all gassed out from the tag match and the Logan Paul Seth Rollins before. But now here we come, dad versus son, Dominic Mysterio, mommy, facing his dad, WWE Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. Now, I liked Dominic's entrance. He came out with he came out in a prison thing and had the cops had shackles on him, and then they unleashed them. Dominic Mysterio with that mullet looking like Eddie Guerrero from 1979. And I think that's what he's trying to go with. He's trying to get that Eddie Guerrero heat, that Latino heat. Because we all know how Eddie was with China, and I think that's the same way he's trying to be with Rhea Ripley. Rey Mysterio came out with Snoop Dogg to the whole kind of like Eddie, one of Eddie's lowriders. But I have to give Rey Mysterio credit. His mask was almost designed the same way as the Great Muda's mask is now. I think maybe he was paying a little bit of homage to Great Muda there. He came out very emotional to Eddie's music and then into his. This match told a story, but I could definitely tell you that this feud is not over between father and son. At one point, Dominic goes out there and actually throws water in his sister's face. And, the Judgment Day comes down, Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and then Rey Mysterio has recreated the Latino World Order on SmackDown, and they came out and helped him out for the match. And then, there was a chain. Dominic grabs the chain. Bad Bunny sitting at ringside. Bad Bunny grabs it. Make sure. Hold on a second, guys. Because Backlash is going to be in Puerto Rico next month, and Bad Bunny is the host there. And what they did on Raw, I'm thinking they're building towards a Dominic Mysterio, Damian Priest tag versus Rey Mysterio and Bad Bunny. That's where I'm thinking they're going with this. I love Triple H's long term booking. You know, some people may scratch their head and go, "Huh?" But it makes sense. This match was maybe like a 7 out of 10. It could have been better. Wasn't bad, but it could have been better. So then we had let's see, what's one? What am I looking? What am I forgetting here now? I know they had 8 matches total. So let me see on night one here. Do. Okay. So now we had the women's championship, SmackDown Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley. Mommy. Rhea Ripley, I was a fan of in NXT. Um, I was a fan of her when she came up in the main roster, but what she's done being in Judgment Day and reconstricting her, changing her character, and being mommy to Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, I felt like has finally found her niche. She's finally found the character that she was supposed to be, and I know Charlotte Flair is leaving WWE to go, not fully leaving, but she's going to do a bodybuilding competition. And this match was hard hitting. I'm talking about these women beat the holy hell out of each other. It was, to me, guys, this was probably one of the best women matches that I have seen in a very, very long time. And I'm not a big fan of Charlotte Flair because she always wins and everything, but Charlotte could back it up in that ring. Her and Rhea went toe to toe. A lot of kickouts. At least they didn't do the Canadian Destroyer 10 times and then hit a knee to win. That's an AEW wrestling thing there. But this one, there was a point where Charlotte hits herself, knocks herself out on the pole. Rhea Ripley goes and does on the mid rope, does the Riptide 1, 2, 3. Your new SmackDown Women's Champion is Rhea Ripley. This match, ladies and gentlemen, was a 9 out of 10 to me, maybe a 9.5 out of 10, because this one um, showed a lot of heart and showed a lot of emotion, which is what I like when I watch a wrestling match. And I'm telling you, those two women, I don't know. I don't think they could duplicate what they did at WrestleMania 39. I really don't. And it's a bit, and I'm glad that Rhea Ripley now is SmackDown Women's Champion. Like I said, Charlotte's taking some time off, so we'll see what happens now. Like, are they going to shake some stuff up on SmackDown and Raw? I heard the draft is supposed to be coming, so we'll see. But now the main event, the Usos, the unified tag team championships versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. This has been a long-term build story with Sami Zayn going into the bloodline, becoming an honorary Us, being an Usi. And this one, we all know the history that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they've been friends for a long time. Enemies, friends, enemies, friends. The Usos are probably one of the best tag teams in professional wrestling. Um, they've really the Usos have stepped up their game ever since they've been a part of the bloodline with Roman. And it shows because I feel like with Roman changing everything about himself, the Usos have done the same thing. Now this match uh, was at the edge of your seat. The crowd was into it, like they were with Charlotte and Rhea. They were into it. Sami Zayn's white hot right now, white hot, and there was a couple times in the match where I thought the Usos was just too good for them. I mean that's what was great about this match because the booking made it seem like, oh shit, Owens and Zayn are not going to win this. They're not going to win the tag titles. We're not going to see it. But it kept you at the edge of your seat because every time Kevin Owens would hit a stunner or Sami Zayn would hit the Julia kick, the Julia kick, what do you want to call it, and the Blue Thunder Bomb. I love the Thunder Bomb. Actually, I really do. Um, the Usos would come in there, kick in the face. There was at one point they did a two double splash on Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens still kicked out. There was good, um, a lot of good back and forth action, a lot of storytelling, a lot of heart and emotion. But when Kevin Owens, when Sami Zayn kicked out of the 1D, which is technically the 3D, they went completely nuts. And I have to give Michael Cole credit. I usually don't like Michael Cole as an announcer, but Michael Cole, his emotions in that match, calling it, was great. And probably one of my favorite tag matches in a long time. And I'm about to give this a 9.5 out of 10 because it did what it was supposed to do. It told a story that that the heartwarming story of Sami Zayn going into the bloodline, protecting his brother Kevin Owens, trying to get Kevin Owens to be cool with him. The whole build to this was great. The storytelling was great. And that's one thing you want about wrestling. You want a great story, a great storyline that kind of go with the match. It makes it more, to me, it makes it more compelling when you see a story, you see a storytelling, and then the match itself is great. Now, another thing that I missed out on was The Miz and Snoop Dogg were the co-hosts. And apparently, Pat McAfee comes out and challenges The Miz. They have a little match. Miz gets involved with Greg Little Greg Kittle from the San Francisco 49ers was at the thing, and he got involved, and him and Pat McAfee beat the hell out of The Miz. And that was in between both of the two big matches on night one. So night one ends with a bang. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are your new unified tag team champions. And it makes you wonder, okay, is the bloodline finally going to crumble? Are we finally going to see the end of the bloodline? So then we go into night two. We start off with Omos versus Brock Lesnar. I really do dig Cowboy Brock. I love this new variation of Brock. The ponytail, the mohawk, love it. Absolutely love it. Omos he is still green, and I'm talking golly, not like Jolly Green Giant green. He is green. The match starts off with Brock trying to do an old college wrestling, high school wrestling takedown, and then Omos froze him across the ring. Brock gets up. Brock tries to clothesline him a few times, doesn't knock him over. And of course, Omos this body slams him, headbutts him, body slams him, gets Brock into a bear hug, rams him into the turnbuckle, body slams him again, then does the bear hug again to Brock. Brock gets out, and Brock is selling the crap out of this. I'm talking about Brock is selling the fact that his back's hurt and everything like that. And a lot of people don't give Brock Lesnar a lot of credit, but Brock will sell for you. And Brock sells very well, too. And he doesn't get a lot of credit that he needs to get for it, but he does sell very well. And so Brock gets a German suplex in, doesn't get it all the way, but then he gets two more in, and he throws Omos across the room. Omos had a really good hops with that for being a 7'3", 400-pound guy. So then Brock tries to go for the F5. He acts like his back hurts, and then Omos grabs him up, looks like he's about to choke slam him. Brock gets out, counters, hits him with the F5. Boom, 1, 2, 3. Your winner is Brock Lesnar. I think this was a Vince McMahon match. This was not a Triple H one. I got that sense because, Brock said he loved the challenge of this match, but let's be honest. I would have rather seen Bobby Lashley and Brock 3 at WrestleMania than see him and Omos. And this ain't the biggest guy to Brock's F5. I mean, people forget that he F5'd the Big Show. And Big Show is a lot more, he may not be taller than Omos, but he's a lot heavier. So, and Brock looked like Brock was pumped up, but he looked like he forgot leg day because his legs were looking very chickeny out there. But the match was a feel-good, fun moment. Nothing fancy about this match at all. It lasted 5 minutes. Probably about 5 or 6 minutes. I get this one like a 5.5 out of 10. I mean, just because it's Brock. Brock's entertaining to me. So then we go into the women's tag, where the winner gets a women's tag team title shot. We have Shayna Baszler and Ronda Rousey, Natalya and Shanti. I do love Shanti. Shanti's doesn't get a lot of credit, but when she was on the Indies, she was really good. Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan's cute. She's pretty, but she's really not that. To me, she ain't that good in the ring. That's putting it mildly. Then we had Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. They had some good high spots in this match, but Ronda Rousey comes in there with a broken arm, and you could definitely tell that she had it bandaged up. She really didn't do anything in that match, really. She was hiding around, you didn't even see her. And then at the end, Ronda gets in there, grabs Shanti, puts her in that armbar. Shanti taps out. Your winners are Shayna and Ronda. Looks like Shayna and Ronda will be trying to go after Lita and Becky Lynch for the Smackdown, for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Looking forward to seeing that tag match because I think there's a lot of unfinished business with Becky and Ronda. But I would love to see a Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler match on there, and I hope the WWE books that because I would love to see it. Two friends train together, they've hung out together, they live together. It would be a good feel-good story if that ever happens. But we'll see. And then we had the Intercontinental Championship, the triple threat, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, and Gunther. Now, Drew McIntyre should never, ever, 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 ever be wearing white trunks to the ring. I mean, it may. I'm like, dude, no. Sheamus was way over with the crowd. I think the crowd really wanted Sheamus to win because that's the one belt that Sheamus never has won is the Intercontinental Championship. And Gunther comes out. Gunther's that old school wrestling 70s, 60s guy. It looked like he would twitch you like a pretzel. And man, what he did to Sheamus's chest with those chops. Now, people always say they don't want to get suplexed by Brock. I'd rather take 14 suplexes from Brock than get chopped by Gunther. That man is superbly evil, and he's a ring general. And all three of these guys were workhorses that tonight. They really put on an exhibition. It was hard hitting. It was technical. It was everything that you would want to see in an Intercontinental title match. And there were some times where I felt like Sheamus was going to win, and there was times where it looked like Drew was going to win. And the cool part of what really was a cool ending of the match was when Gunther power bombs Drew McIntyre into Sheamus and then picks up Drew again. Boom, power bomb, 1, 2, 3. Still your Intercontinental Champion, Gunther. Now, some wrestling fans call him Gunther. It's Gunther, but I mean I don't know why some people say Gunther. It's weird. However, this one to me is a 9.5 out of 10. The crowd was really into this. I was into it. I mean, I usually don't get into matches, but Melissa was sitting next to me and she was just like, "You must really like this one." I'm like, "Yeah, this one's really good. Hard hitting, take no bullshit, take no prisoners." And it was a really good technical battle. It was like a brawl, but it was a technical brawl. And it was really good. And I have to give, there was one point where Sheamus was doing his little move that he does on the ropes to Gunther. And then while he was doing that, Drew was over there chopping Gunther. Gunther's chest was black and blue. It looked like Sheamus's chest was about to bleed. And it was just, it did what it was supposed to do. And then, now we go into the Asuka Bianca. Don't get me wrong, but I like Bianca. I do. But Asuka with that heel paint that she has on, the crowd really wanted Asuka to win. Asuka hasn't won at WrestleMania. And that says a lot. Asuka has not won at WrestleMania. I was hoping that Asuka would walk out of here the new Raw Women's Championship, but no. They kept it on Bianca. This match was okay. It wasn't one of the best ones, but it wasn't bad. It was like, but it wasn't bad. But Asuka fell short, and I think they really need to do a heel run with Asuka with this look she got on. Her one of her favorite wrestlers, the Great Muta, was inducted to the Hall of Fame. Any of y'all have never seen a Great Muta match? I highly suggest that you do go online and look at a Great Muta match because I've always loved the Great Muta. He started the whole myth stuff, and I think that Asuka tried using it at WrestleMania. She missed. And Bianca walks out still Raw Women's Champion. And I think they're building towards Bianca and Rhea Ripley, but they're not. They're just keeping them apart for a while. You could tell on Raw, and that's what they were kind of going for. Uh, but Bianca is still women's champion. Whoopie doo. And then we had another segment with Snoop and the Miz. Miz got mad about his suit being torn up. And then Snoop says, "Well, I got a surprise for you." And here comes the money. Shane comes out. Crowd goes nuts. Shane gets in the ring, thanks them, starts the match, does a leapfrog, and then all of a sudden, Shane McMahon tears his quad. He pulled a Kevin Nash, ladies and gentlemen. Because not only did his brother-in-law tore his quad twice, not only that, his dad tore his quad, but now Shane tore his quad seconds of being in the ring to face the Miz. So they needed to do an audible, and Snoop stepped up and punched Miz in the face. Did the worst people's elbow you can ever see. But Snoop was smart to call an audible on that when you see that Shane was hurt. And yeah, it's been confirmed Shane McMahon did tear his quadricep. What can you say? It's WrestleMania. Night 1 definitely was better than night 2. So then we had the Hell in a Cell, Brood, Edge comes out. I was hoping Gangrel would be with him, but that didn't happen. Then Finn Balor's the Demon comes out. I like the fact they brought back the old school Hell in a Cell. They didn't have that red one. But what was weird, though, was that they had a red chair, a purple kendo stick, a red kendo stick. These two beat the hell out of each other. At one point, though, Edge takes a ladder, throws it, and hits Finn in the head. You can see Finn Balor's head whiplash. And he's bleeding like, as Jim Ross would say, he's bleeding like a stuffed pig. He's a crimson mass. Finn Balor had to get some staples in his head, obviously. But Finn Balor went up on almost on the top of the cell to do the coup de grace. He missed it. It went through the table. I'm surprised he didn't hurt his leg or tear an ACL or anything like that. But Finn was fine. It was an ending to this feud that needed to end. And I think the Hell in a Cell was a good spot to do it at. I like both guys. Finn Balor's great. I like Edge. I do feel like Finn Balor should have went over because the Demon's supposed to. He ain't supposed to see the Demon lose a lot. And the last time the Demon appeared was against Roman Reigns and he lost. And then he lost again to Edge. Edge really didn't need that win. I think Finn needed that win a little more than Edge did. That's just my opinion. But Edge did win. This match was it's one of those things like Mysterio's. It was good, but could have been better. Could have been better. Now, what was a one cool spot in the match is when they had the ladder folded. They had the ladder out. Edge on the top of the ladder ends up doing the execution DDT, like off that. I thought that was pretty cool little spot. There were some good spots for this match though. It wasn't like horrible at all. I mean, it was probably one of the better Hell in a Cell matches in a while. So I'm giving this like maybe an 8, 7.5 or 8 out of 10. Like I said, it could have been better. Well, now we have the main event. Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Now, Roman Reigns has Paul Heyman and the Enforcer out there with him. Solo gets involved early on in the match. Then, he hits Cody with a chair in the back. And then he also hits him with that weightlifting belt. Now, what was cool was that Brody Lee's son. I mean, Brody Lee's son was in the crowd with his mom, and Cody gave the. We all know the story about that. Cody's been really good to Brody Lee's son and their family. So he gave his weightlifting belt to Brody Lee's kid, which I thought was a good gesture. It was sweet. Um, but Solo took it, hits him with it. Referee finally hears it, tells him to go to the back. And this match, I was worried that Roman and Cody wouldn't have good chemistry, but they killed it. It was one of the better WrestleMania main events for a long time. You know, the Usos got involved. Here comes Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. They cleared the ring. It's like he does that. Roman Reigns does that submission to Cody. You think Cody's being choked out. He fights out, puts it in him again, finds a way out of it. Roman hits a rock bottom out of nowhere. Roman hit a pretty sick looking spear, and that got kicked out. Cody did his Cody cutter. Cody did the pedigree. They were hitting him with different stuff. A lot of near falls. At one point, though, what I thought was a cool spot was that Cody was about to go and do that jump off the ropes and hit him with that kick. And in midair, Roman got him with the Superman punch. I thought that was a pretty cool spot. So then Cody hits him with the crossroads and then hits him with the crossroads again. And he's about to do it for a third time. Paul Heyman's got the referee distracted. Here comes Solo out with that spike. Spikes Cody in the neck. Roman goes for the spear. Boom. 1, 2, 3. Cody Rhodes' dream is ended. Roman Reigns is still your unified, universal world heavyweight champion. Now, I know a lot of fans are upset about the ending. I really wanted Cody to win. I think I was a little bit heartbroken by the ending because I think that was a shitty way to end the damn pay per view. When you've actually had really good success with the pay per view and some of the matches have been really good, you end a WrestleMania with that. I know it's a storytelling thing and you want to keep it going, but I think the reason why they kept the belt on Roman is I think they want Roman to get to 1,000 days because he could be in that category with Pedro Morales. He could be in there with Bob Backlund and Hulk Hogan and Bruno San Martino. And I think that's where they're going with that. Cody had nothing to be ashamed of. I thought Cody had the match won. Cody actually had a lot of heart. There was a lot of emotion in this match. I give it a 9 out of 10. The ending makes it to where it's not where it needs to be. But, you know, if you saw on Raw, Cody wanted a rematch. They said no. And then Cody wanted a tag match with Solo and Roman Reigns. He had to find a partner. Brock comes out. And I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to spoil it for anybody that didn't see it, but you can go and look online or on YouTube and you can find a clip of what happened in that tag match. So I don't know where they're going after this. I think it makes Cody still chase this dream. You can still follow what Cody's doing. Cody's white hot too. And in AEW, the crowd turned on him. But this time, some people are pissed off because they're like, wow, Cody's their biggest merch seller now. Cody's this and that. But you got to keep in mind, the Roman Reigns heel turn and the bloodline has been one of the biggest things that WWE has done in a very long time. So you don't technically want to get rid of that. If it ain't broke, don't fix. And I think that could be their mentality. I think they will see each other again. It might be on one of those Saudi pay-per-views or it might be at SummerSlam. And I think Once they get to those 1,000 days, I think they will put the belt off of Roman. I think they wanted to also to keep the belt on Roman to because of this whole endeavor buying WWE, and they want to and they have to re-sign with USA and Fox, and they want to keep Roman's a big name, big marquee name. So you want to keep the championship on him. No Rock. Rock did not show up for WrestleMania, even though he was in LA. He did post an Instagram and Twitter about it, teasing that he was going to do something, but he didn't. At least John Cena, who wasn't prepared for his match at all, came out, did the honors, and left. The Rock couldn't even do that. That's disheartening. The Rock almost single-handedly almost destroyed the Warner Brothers with his demands that he had for Black Adam, and he can't even appear. But he gives us hey, I'm still in LA. I'm in my LA home. WrestleMania is going on right now down the road. I'm like, are you telling me you couldn't just be in the back or show up? It it really is disheartening because I know a lot of people want to see Roman and Rock. I don't know if I want to see it now. I really don't. I really don't know if I want to see it. And I definitely don't want to see it at WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia. I think that that needs to be a spot where someone else who actually deserves it. By that time, though, you can take the belt off of Roman because Roman's got a part-time schedule now. And by that time, you can take the belt off of Roman and you can split those titles finally, and then go back to having SmackDown having their champion and Raw having their champion. I think that's what USA and Fox really wants in the first place. They were kind of stuck with this idea because Vince had it from last year's WrestleMania. So Triple H is doing a lot of cleaning on this. I know Matt Riddle was showed back up. I thought Braun Breaker, after he dropped the title in NXT's pay per view, I thought maybe Braun would have been debuting, but no, not yet. But we'll see. Um, WrestleMania 39 was actually, in the last couple of WrestleManias, probably one of the better ones I've seen. Night one was definitely better. They need to get rid of this whole night one, night two thing, and I think Triple H is wanting to do that because he has shorter matches with longer matches with shorter card, and I think that that's where he's going to lean towards for WrestleMania 40 is not do two nights, but to do one big night. And I think that would be a lot better for the wrestlers. It'd be a lot better for the crowd. It'd be a lot better for us viewers. And, we wouldn't have to say, oh, well, night one was better than night two. Now we could just say, hey, WrestleMania was good as a whole. And hopefully they go back to the old way of doing that. I'm an old school guy. I like the old way better. Um, I did watch WrestleMania all the way through in the honor of my dad because me and my dad used to love watching these things. I have like a bunch of tapes, still VHS tapes with all some old WrestleManias on there, and I really wanted to watch it for him and kind of like get into it because my dad would get into some stuff. He would be upset when someone would cheat to win, and he would get upset about it, and it was actually kind of funny. But to me, WrestleMania 39 gets a B for me. It doesn't get a B plus. It doesn't get a B minus. It just gets a simple B. It was actually not that bad, but I think that if they would have just done one night instead of two nights, I think it would have been a lot better. Honestly, I really do. Anyways, any of you who did see WrestleMania, push your comments down below. Tell me what you think. What was your favorite matches of the night? Um, what you like? What you didn't like? Like and share and sub, guys, and we'll be back with some more content for you very soon. Hope everyone has a good Easter weekend.